friends, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to show you the new Jibun Techo Lite Mini, and I just want to do a quick flip through and comparison to the Jibun Techo Biz Mini that I used the beginning of this year. So first, let's go ahead and do a flip through and a breakdown of what's in this little guy. So this is a B6 slim size. I have a Scribbles That Matter B6 notebook just so you can see it's slightly taller, but it is much less wide. So this is a B6 slim size. I will say it's actually a tiny bit taller than a true B6 slim. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but it's like just a few, maybe a centimeter or a couple of millimeters taller. So a lot of people have been having some issues with this in terms of fitting it into their B6 size, like traveler's notebooks or folios, just because that tiny tip. We will talk about that in just a bit when I get into the comparison. So when you open it up, it has this sort of cardstock page, and then it goes into its 2020 where you can put your name and your contact info. And then it goes right into a sort of annual overview. And then from there, it goes right into a overview of 2020 and 2021, and then a sort of goal setting page. And last year I translated it, but basically these are all different categories of goals, and then these are sort of your where you are and your action steps to get there. But yeah, you can always just cover those up and put your own categories or use a translator app and fill in the boxes accordingly. And then the next page is list page. And so there are actually, I believe, 12 pages. So 12 pages of lists that you can actually write on. And then from there, you go into the monthlies. With the monthlies, it has its calendar overview. It has the previous month, the current month, and the next month. Seems kind of odd that they would have the current month there, but anyways. And then it has these little task boxes along the side. And at the bottom, it has like a habit or a project tracker. And so I would use definitely that as a habit tracker, but if you do project planning or anything like that, you can fill that in, and it looks like it has 7 of those. And then it's just like that all the way through until you reach, I think it gives you, yes, till March of 2021. So you get about 15 months of the calendars, the monthly spreads. And then it goes into the weeklies. So the weeklies have a calendar on the side. So it looks like it has the current month shaded, and then it has the next month. And then it has a sort of like a taskbar or these checklist boxes on the side. And then the weeklies, it's the same for each day. And then the Saturday and Sunday are shaded. But I'll zoom in and kind of show you. It has at the top a sort of like 3 check mark boxes, so kind of your top 3. And it also has weather. And then it has your morning hours, so 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. are kind of condensed and consolidated into this top box. And then it has 6 a.m. until all the way through here. The boxes are the same size, so it's just these top morning hours that are condensed. And then at the bottom, you have just a blank space, and then a tiny little spot for your mood tracking. If you use the previous Jibuns, there's still room if you wanted to do like your mood tracking, or if you wanted to do writing in your food or anything like that. So these are all the weeklies, and the weeklies, I mean, it's the same even when you're going, into a new month. There's nothing in between. It's all the weeklies. And then we'll flip to the back. So you get weeklies all the way through January 10th. of 2021. And then after that, you get blank grid pages. And there's 22 pages in the back that you can write on. So I guess, what is that? 11 sheets, but 22 pages that you can write on. And all the way through the back. And then you get a looking back on 2020 spread. So if you wanted to do, I believe one side is personal and one side is like world events. You can honestly do whatever you want with this page. I know some people repurpose it, but I think it'd be cool to use as like a memory keeper, like the month's highlights. And then the very last page, I believe, is like another kind of contact sheet, and it gives, I guess, some other descriptions on Jibun Techo, and then it's another cardstock page, and that's that. That's the whole planner. I wanted to do a quick comparison with the Jibun Techo Biz Mini. So like I had said in the beginning, the size is slightly off. It is just a tiny bit taller, and that causes all sorts of issues that I've seen so far in terms of it fitting into different covers. I was able to really barely squeeze this guy into a Foxy Fix Perfect Fit B6, but it took a lot of effort, and I was afraid that like I wasn't going to be able to get it out. And I could also fit it into my Foxy Fix B6 like TN, but I had to put it on the strings. I couldn't just slide it into the back pocket. So that's something to keep in mind. You will have to find and research what cover will actually fit this, because it doesn't really fit the B6 or a lot of B6 Slims. It's just a tiny bit too tall. But the main differences between these guys, for one, this paper is not like the Mio paper. Oop, I used a lot of it. So this paper, the Mio paper that's in the Biz, is super smooth. It takes ink beautifully. I absolutely love it. It is my favorite paper I've ever written on. So I will say that. This one definitely, it's not Tomoe River paper, so it's not like what you'll find in the Hobonichi. It's a little bit thicker than that, but it has more of a grip to it, not like this Mio paper that is really smooth. So I would say it's almost comparable to the Stalogy, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that kind of paper, that's what it reminds me of in terms of feel. The other big differences are going to be, so for example, side by side on the weeklies, put it like this. As you can see, this one actually got rid of this kind of like blank bar and created the top 3 sort of checklist. And then also it's definitely a lot cleaner than this. As you can see, this is where they highlighted all of the times. Here it's much quieter, I guess you could say, and you could definitely write over the times if you wanted, and it's not as noticeable as it is in the Biz, and I'm assuming this was also how it was in the original Techo. In the Biz and in the original, they had a spot where you could do your food for the day. This one does not have that. It just made this a whole blank space, and so it moved your mood tracking to the bottom. But like I said, you still have room if you wanted to just write in your food if you wanted, or use this for honestly whatever you want. That's the beauty of these kind of books. The other difference is the Biz Mini had all of these sort of how-to pages. It had more calendar spreads. It had the annual spreads, the goal sheets, but it had a lot of these other sort of like pre-made pages. So this was like a budget plan. This was another test plan. I mean, maps, all sorts of lists. And this one over here just does the blank lists, which honestly, I kind of like this more because I never really knew, a lot of these lists didn't really fit me for what I would want to use my list for. So I actually do like that it has this, but that's just something to keep in mind. The other thing, let's find a blank one to show you guys. So the Biz, I'm not really sure about the original, but the Biz also had the project planning spreads totally separate, whereas this one put it in the monthly view. What happened when it put it in the monthly view was that it made the boxes a bit smaller. So these are all consolidated. I want to say that it made it smaller by about 2 rows is what happened here. So that's also something to keep in mind in terms of the layouts. And the other big difference is going to be the end only had about 6 pages, 6 blank spreads, before it got into some like last minute stuff, whereas this one had the extra note pages. So I originally got this. It had a lot of the stuff that I wanted in terms of the list and the blank space at the end that this one didn't have. But I'm not a huge fan of this paper. It's definitely okay. And I don't know, in the past year or something, I just feel like the grid is a little bit too small for me. So I personally won't be using this. I think if it came out in an A5 version, I really might consider it. And then the other thing is, basically I want this in a B6 size and a true B6 size, not a B6 Slim, and with like maybe triple the notes. So the notes, the free blank space at the end, just so I don't feel like I'm going to use up all my paper. Or because I kind of like to bullet journal and do collections and stuff. So I don't think this is going to be a good fit for me this year. But I will definitely be keeping an eye out on what they come out with for 2021, because I think they're like almost perfect. And I also think it's really cool that they did take into account, they asked customers what they liked, what they didn't like in their other versions, and that's why they came out with this one. So I think it's really cool that they do listen to their customers and that they came out with this product that I think it's a very good product. It just doesn't fit my needs for the upcoming year. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the Lite or about the Biz. I have both of these that I can definitely review and answer for you guys. But otherwise, that's all I have for now. I hope this is helpful. Bye, y'all.